Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Brittany with Horoscope.com. Here are 3 things you need to know in order to make today, Saturday, February 16th, 2019, a success. Now the first thing I want to talk about today is going to be right here where the moon is. Now the moon in this chart today is in Cancer. When the moon's in Cancer, it brings our attention to our feelings, our emotions, sometimes emotions that we keep private and don't always talk about. Also, when the moon's in Cancer, brings our attention to home and family as well, and to just nurturing ourselves in some way. Typically, I do like a moon in Cancer just because it is home there, helping you to get more in touch with your feelings in more of a positive way, even though we'll see what's going on with some of the aspects. And what we've got going on early this morning is we've got this moon in Cancer making a trine over here to Mercury in Pisces. What this can bring are lots of conversations that come up very early this morning, perhaps while many of us are sleeping, about our feelings, what we're feeling, about what's going on inside us, about our emotions. If we're not talking to other people about what we're feeling, then maybe there's a lot going on inside, emotionally, spiritually, that we're trying to work out to figure out what's going on with our feelings and how we can start to approach our life in a more stable and grounded way that could occur there. A few hours after that happens, now maybe some of us are getting up and moving around, this moon in Cancer is then going to make an opposition over here to Venus in Capricorn. What that could then bring is a lot going on here with relationships, since Venus is the planet of relationships. I think we want to feel comfortable, we want to feel secure in our life, we want to feel like everything's okay emotionally. But with this opposition to Venus, and especially all these oppositions that the moon is going to make to these planets in Capricorn in the next day or so, there could be a lot weighing on our minds about our relationships, about our money, about what's going on with these things, about what we want or need to put our relationships and money in a much better place that we could be thinking about, figuring out, and that could be weighing on us a little bit. After that happens, maybe about an hour later, still in the morning time before lunch, this moon in Cancer is then going to make a trine over here to Neptune, running very close to Mercury. What this could bring as well, I think, is a good chance for you to get in touch with your intuition, your creativity, and your spirituality. If there is anything about relationships and money that may have been a little bit difficult or maybe a little bit uncomfortable for you, I think this alignment is going to help you early today kind of engage your intuition to figure out spiritually and intuitively what it is that you need to do in order to move on in a better way. Once that occurs, a few hours later, then this moon in Cancer is going to move further through the sign, and it's going to make an opposition here to Saturn right around lunchtime. What this can bring are some feelings of restriction. Again, we could want to be feeling comfortable in our life, but I think there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of big stuff weighing over us over our heads that's just making it hard for us to feel the way that it is that we want to feel. And we may have gotten some intuitive insights a few hours earlier about what we need to feel better in our life in some way. And even though I think those intuitive insights were very positive and very helpful for us to figure out what we need to do better in our life to ease some of the burden on ourselves, I do believe there are still some things we might have to get in order, work out, that may not feel the most comfortable. And that's going to stick with us for most of the day. The next alignment isn't going to be until bedtime, maybe even after some of us have gone to bed. What's going to happen then is that this moon in Cancer is then going to make an opposition to Pluto, running very close to both Saturn and Venus. That could bring some intense or scary feelings, always when I think Pluto's involved, towards the nighttime. We could be feeling a little bit scared about some big change in our life, especially in our life direction that we know that we need to make, perhaps to some of the things that came up earlier in the day in regards to relationships and money. And I think, again, needing to figure out how to balance your emotions in a more stable and secure kind of way. I think we're trying to figure that out at the beginning of the day, what we need emotionally to feel better, but I think there are still some things that we need to work out in our life and in a very practical way before the emotional stability can start to come in more permanently. And I think needing to be patient, if you start to get fearful towards the end of the day, things are going to be okay if you listen to your intuition and do what you can and need in a practical way to ensure your success. Okay, so that's the first point I want to leave you with. I know the moon's doing a lot here, but listen to your intuition and get the practical work done based on what your intuition tells you that you need to do, because I think it's going to help you move forward feeling better. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, there's a lot going on. Maybe I'll stick with these two alignments. Maybe I'll talk about two. I'll go back to Venus and Saturn again, with the moon was touching today. Venus is coming closer and closer into a conjunction with Saturn. That will require you to make decisions about money and relationships, about what you want with those things, how you want to use or organize them better so that you can feel like your life is going in a better place. So don't shy away from making decisions about relationships and money. Those decisions are also, with them, both of these planets being in Capricorn, are also going to need to have the long-term impact in mind. So also think seriously and think more long term. You may have to sacrifice some comfort in the moment so that you can get ultimately to where it is that you want to go, and I encourage you to do that. Now, the third and last thing I want to talk about is going to be right here with Mercury coming into a conjunction with Neptune. It's about to go retrograde as well. Mercury doesn't like to be in Pisces. This can bring very, very confusing conversations because we're trying to logically understand things that are going on emotionally. I think it's valuable to try to communicate about your feelings and to let other people in on what you're going through emotionally, but it could be a challenge at this time. And I think needing to not be afraid if you feel misunderstood. You won't feel misunderstood forever. There's a lot we're working out spiritually and intuitively to have a better life that really resonates with us. And I think there's a lot of really positive, beautiful things going on inside ourselves, but we may not be ready just yet to communicate about those things or to understand them logically, and that's fine. That's fine. Don't try or force yourself to think logically about things that cannot have logic. Use your intuition for now and be patient, and more of the answers and things that are unclear to you will become increasingly more clear in the next few weeks, especially as Mercury goes retrograde and then direct in this spot. So that is your daily planetary forecast for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow.